BlackMediaStream.com, this community, and we're at the post-celebration of the 7th Annual Onyx Awards, and we have with us Mr. and Mrs. Sears, the founders of this wonderful award. And how are you guys doing this evening?
Just fine.
Tired, yeah. See, what they don't know is I used to sneak into their pool when I was, I'm a neighborhood kid from Monte Carlo, and me and Brian used to hang out a lot. And they were always so gracious to let us go swimming. I remember those good times. Good times. So this is 7 years strong now, and it seems like it's getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah, the Lord has blessed us. What it is, when we started off, and it was a reminder when we were out here the other day, and the guy work here said that the first year we got everything in Ballroom 8. And I think we had about 275 people. And now we sold out about 3 weeks ago.
Wow, that is awesome. And I understand that you have some new plans for future events coming up pretty soon.
Yes, we plan an Onyx week, a whole week of Onyx activities. This year we did add Onyx Speaks, which was the cultural event. Then we had the mixer last night, which was with the young folks, having a good time. And tonight, the Onyx Awards. Next year, they plan to add the Gospel Fest. We don't know whether or not the economy would be better, but if the economy is not better, we may have to delay it a year. But if it is, that will be our next move. And my husband can explain to you about the expansion that we're talking about.
Right now, what it is, we do the Space Coast Awards down, and we have it in Melbourne, then we do the Northeast Awards in Jacksonville, and this year we're going to add Tallahassee, the Panhandle Awards. Then our long-range goal is to do the same thing in North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, and then the winners in Florida. And like tonight, then everybody will meet in Atlanta. And this is where we'll put, I don't know what we're going to call it yet, but those are our long-range goals, and then try to get some television people involved with it.
That sounds awesome. And it's been a wonderful trip so far.
Oh, yeah.
And we're definitely looking forward to see what's to come in the future.
Okay, great. And thanks for everything.
And thank you for having us out here.
One of the honorary chair for this year's Onyx Award. I'm the honorary chair along with Dr. Dorothy Heights, Mr. Lee Elder, Joseph Melhorn, who is the president of CFP Federal Credit Union, and Mr. Brian Butler, who is the president of JIC. The Onyx Award serves as the funding engine for LBS Foundation, whose mission is to assist those who are affected by sickle cell and to support literacy initiatives in the state of Florida. Our goal is twofold. Not only do we want to celebrate the accomplishments and contributions of Florida trailblazers, we would also like to introduce you to a few of our community leaders who are making a difference in the lives of so many. One of the most rewarding events in the city of Orlando for the state of Florida. And we congratulate Lester and Pastor Sid and the family, the board of directors, because all the money that is raised, all of the net income, goes to sickle cell disease. And we started that committee about 30 years ago. We started that in Indiana myself, Lily. So I congratulate all of you. Good to come out from great picture. Started Wednesday night with a wonderful art and color. Tomorrow we recognize the president of APA.
Awards. I am Candy Downs, as he said, president of Orange County Stylistic Stepper. I'm incapacitated, but the leg is bad, but I still got the hip. This is the combination here. From South Florida, we have guests from Stylistic Steppers, also from upcoming group in Tampa, the Soulful Steppers, and of course Orange County Steppers. Mr. Gummy is not here. Okay, so if I can have all the steppers in the show. This dance originated in Chicago. It's called Chicago.
Good evening, everyone. Are you in the place to be? First of all, thanking God. Thanking the Onyx for inviting us here in this county, Candy Downs with OC Stylists and Steppers. Listen, this is an exotic dance. It's a very structured dance. We dance to an 8 count. The ladies dance from the bottom of the lane to the top of the lane. And the gentlemen just dance around them, crossing her lane from left to right and into her lane. And the count is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2. Let me hear y'all in the house count that out. 7, 8. 1, 2, 3. Now, if y'all want to learn how to do this, y'all go to the American Legion every Wednesday, 6:30 to 8:30. Classes on how to step. American Legion every Wednesday evening, 6:30 to 8:30. On Fairview, y'all give them a round of applause. Give them a round. Yeah. Appreciate y'all, man. Invite me and having me here, man. The BMC for this, you know, all these beautiful ladies out here. And I had to be married. God. I know 21 years is all jacked up. Now, don't laugh, because me and my wife don't even talk right now. My wife don't even know I'm in Orlando right now. I told her I was going to Blockbuster. So if you're right, good move, I'll be back soon. Well, I appreciate we got a good time tomorrow, man. I guess everybody coming out, right? And I want to invite all y'all back to another hotel. I want to build the law. I got plenty of snacks. But anyway, man, it's only going to say something and know that we're going to have a good time tomorrow. We're going to run out tomorrow and keep it all professional and elegant. And ladies, all you got to do is throw this away today. And that's good enough for me. So, but thank y'all very much for having me here. And being the UNC for tomorrow night, so I appreciate it. Thank y'all very much.
Yeah. And we all have a good time. Is the food good? How about the entertainment? Thank you for coming.
again, one of the things I want to say is this. Even though we're having a good time, the food is good, the reason that we're doing this is for a real good cause, and that's the city sales. Never forget the reason why we're trying to do tonight and tomorrow night at the Onyx Awards. The proceeds that you get tonight and tomorrow and all of our sponsors go to help us help Lee Bryant and her husband and her daughter, Deborah, do a great job with Tri-County City Sales Association. So don't forget that, and don't forget to join us tonight and tomorrow. We'll see all the guys tomorrow night.
Education is critical, not only to our children, but to all of those who've been in policy positions for far too long, who have eroded the value of this system. We won't give up. We're in it to win it. And so on that, I accept this award and thank you. Have a good evening.
Dr. Florence and Sally Alexander.
His word, to whom much is given, much is required. As a child, I was given two loving parents who taught me to love the Lord and the Lord's children. As a young adult, I was given education from an African-American school, West Virginia State College. Just like all of the others, very nurturing and caring. As a college woman, I was given leadership training and the joys of service to all mankind. Thank you, Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority. And congratulations to my Supreme Master, Dr. Barbara McKenzie.
Please welcome Bernice Adkins Bradley, Regional Director of Community Affairs, Turner Construction Incorporated, and Geisen Buller, President, IROC Construction Incorporated.
On January 20th, 2009, we became a more diverse nation on issues of race, ethnicity, religion, and culture. We began to understand that diversity encompasses differences and similarities while maintaining a respect for both.
This award goes to a corporation that includes minorities at all levels of operation. Tonight, we recognize two organizations that have exceeded expectations to promote inclusion and diversity.
Our first recipient is United Space Alliance.
Please welcome the spokeswoman for the United Space Alliance, Mrs. Marquita Moore.
Wow, this is a beautiful crowd. And truly what an honor it is to be here this evening to accept the Cultural Diversity Award on behalf of the United Space Alliance. We truly like to make sure that we do what we can to reach out to the community and to provide diverse programs to all the employees that are there. On behalf of the over 10,000 employees for the United States Alliance, thanks again for the Cultural Diversity Award.
Our second recipient is AT&T.
Please welcome from AT&T, Vice President of Regulatory Relations, Mr. Jerry Hendricks.
Good evening. To Onyx, I say thank you, and on behalf of AT&T, it's really a pleasure, a great honor to accept this award. Thank you, and good evening.
For the Performing Arts category, please welcome presenters Bishop Alan T. Wiggins, pastor of Hope Church and two-time Stellar Award recipient, and Eugene Campbell, Vice President, Community Relations and Minority Business, Walt Disney World.
You know, Eugene, it is a thrill to be a presenter in the Performing Arts category. Florida just keeps growing leaps and bounds in every discipline of the art.
I totally agree, Bishop Wiggins. Performing arts schools, colleges, and universities keep churning out some of the most unbelievably talented individuals, students, and professionals. And my company, Disney, also gets the chance to work with so many of the finest talent firsthand.
Tonight, our nominees are some of the most established talents in all of Florida. The Performing Arts Award is given to an individual who has exemplified outstanding talent through his or her own artistic performance.
And has promoted the performing arts through his or her teaching, or has promoted, enhanced, and embraced cultural diversity through the arts. And the winner is Sir Oliver Black.
Oliver Black, Fort Lauderdale. Mr. Black, playwright, wrote The Ties That Bind to inform and educate the African American community about HIV and AIDS. After the show was produced, Mr. Black collaborated with the Broward County School System and Health Department, holding question and answer forums to do the number of HIV/AIDS cases in Broward County.
I wish my son was right here for this next performer, because my son is a jazz musician. He's a jazz pianist, and he knew everything about jazz. He go all the way back to Buddy Bolden and King Oliver's band. One time I asked him, I said, he's a historian of jazz. I said, one time, I said, son, who's the greatest saxophone player between Charlie Parker and John Coltrane? He said, well, Dad, you know, when John Coltrane heard Charlie Parker play, John Coltrane threw his alto sax away. I said, well, Charlie Parker was the best. He said, well, Charlie Parker never picked up a tenor either. And this next performer right here, I want to bring him to the stage because I love jazz myself. And, you know, he's not only a musician and a performer, but he's also a composer. And the guy's good, a young guy, a young brother, young up-and-coming artist. Not surprisingly, his melodies have hit the top of Billboard smooth jazz charts, performing Going All Out. It's with my great pleasure to introduce to you the saxophonist and Blue Note recording artist, Mr. Eric Darius.
Give yourself a round of applause. To all of our corporate sponsors, this was for this year to our beginning sponsors, CFB, Federal Credit Union, and Rosen Hotel and Resort. Isn't it beautiful? But I did not believe 7 years ago we would be at this moment.
I agree. It's a lot of hard work, but we're very happy to see everyone here tonight.
You see, this was well worth it.
Yeah.
And now our proposal.
This year, the Publishers Award will be given to not only one, but two Black and three individuals. The first, Father Canon Nelson Tender.
Born in Miami, he grew up in the Liberty City Housing Project, commonly called the government condo. He was drafted into the United States Army during the Korean War. When he received his honorable discharge, he returned to Bethune-Cookman College, now known as Bethune-Cookman University. He later earned his master's degree in education. Father Pender has received numerous awards and recognition, and rightfully so. Because his work has permeated the hearts of those who know him through his work, he has changed the lives of many who may not know him. Because of his impact on the community, a play was written in his honor entitled Tender Kids. Through a greatly diverse ministry, he has worked with the Awareness Center, a downtown Orlando ministry, served as missionary to Jamaica, West Indies, Honduras, Central America, London, England, and chaplain of the day for the United States Senate and the United States House of Representatives.
Everybody was about Father Pender back there. They send me right, they send me left, they send me left, they send me right. But I'm happy to be here. I had an occasion yesterday to preach at a funeral of a very good friend of mine who grew up in Miami. We grew up in two different sections. He grew up in Good Bread Alley. I grew up in the government condos, commonly known as the project. But I thank God what I am. Without God, I couldn't be what I am today. And I thank him. I also thank that young lady who asked me to marry her for her support she's given me. But many years ago, I met another lady named Mary McLeod Bethune, who told us this: either you're here on business or you have no business here. And I took her serious. And she said to the boys and the girls at her school, there's a grave out there known as We Bury Gossip and Rumors. Don't let them arise again. So I wish to thank the community for supporting my ministry, for giving me a chance to exercise what God has called me to do. Thank you very much, and I love all of you.
Florida community and also the state of Florida. They're considered to be the power couple. He is the first husband and wife team to be appointed police chief and elected sheriff, with terms running.
We're back at the 7th Annual Onyx Awards here, and we've pulled aside here, officer. Excuse me, let's get this right. You know, this is the power couple of the year here. All right, this is Police Chief Dimmons and Sheriff Dimmons of Orlando, Florida. How are you guys doing?
Wonderful.
It's been a long evening, and they walked away with one of the most. I mean, this has been a historic year for you guys. Actually, I mean, it's got to been a whirlwind of things going on in your lives right now.
It's been a wonderful year to be the first female chief appointed at the Orlando Police Department, and for Jerry being the first African-American sheriff elected to Orange County. That's a pretty exciting year.
Well, the hard work is ahead of us. We're still trying to make a difference in this community and reduce crime by getting everybody involved in the process.
Indeed. Now tell me the truth. Now, when you're sitting at home and you realize that you both won home, you've won these positions, and you've earned all the work you put in, and you sit back and you look at each other and say, we bad, ain't we?
Well, we usually say that the glory goes to God.
Indeed.
I mean, exactly. It's all because of him.
Indeed. Thank you so much for stopping out with us. I know you guys are getting ready to get out of here, so I don't want to hold you up, but thank you so much. We're here at this community on blackmediastream.com. Hang around a little bit more. There's more to come.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Captain Bell and Sheriff Jerry Dimmons.
Thank you so very much, and I'd like to thank Onyx for this very special recognition. You know, service to others is really a reflection of our service to God. And realizing that, we will continue to work hard to build stronger and safer communities, because it's truly about the service.
Good evening. I'm privileged to be here tonight. Reverend Gray, Reverend Bracy. We prayed first,
we aim high, and we stay focused. So I'm honored and privileged as a native Orlandoan and proud graduate of Jones High School. We have been elected as the 28th sheriff and the first African American in the history of Orange County. I want to say thank you to Onyx, to my junior high school librarian, Miss Lillian Sears, and to my former coach, Lester Sears, for this award tonight. Thank you so much. God bless you. God bless
you. Education, the gateway to independence. You know, Carolyn, that also sums up a real humanitarian in a lot of ways.
Indeed it does, Alan. I'm sure everyone here will agree that this year's humanitarian recipient encompasses such a quality.
An individual that received the humanitarian award must have extended him or herself unselfish.
And must have given to others the quality of life that might not have otherwise been experienced.
And the winner is Onyx.
We're back on This Community at the 7th Annual Onyx Awards post-reception, and you speak about community service, and there's some amazing work that you're doing. Tell us, let everyone know at blackmediastream.com some of the wonderful things you're doing right now.
Well, we've established a Sanctuary of Moses in Benin, West Africa, to build schools, homes, clinics for children who are at risk of being trafficked into slavery and children who have been rescued from traffickers. We have a school there that we adopted back in 2003, and it started off with 87 boys and girls, and now we're up to almost 300. Primary has grown into a secondary school. We've been able to build a clinic. We've been able to dig wells because unlike here in the U.S. where we have free-flowing water, we can go into our homes and turn on the tap and get water right away. That doesn't exist in many countries, including West Africa. And so to have a well in a village is their wealth, is their source of water, which is very important. We've also are building a trade and technical school for young people. Many children in many countries, including Benin, don't have access to education because, of course, it's not mandatory. And so if the families, because of the poverty that's there, the families can't send their girls to school, can't send their boys to school. So there are many children who go through life not getting an education. And what we provide through Sanctuary of Moses is access to education. It's an opportunity. And just like the theme tonight that said education is a gateway to liberation, it is so true. It's something we take for granted here.
Indeed. The simple things, you know, they mean them a lot. They go a long way. Now, could you tell us a little more about your organization and how we can get, you know, what we can do to help you with your cause and participate?
Absolutely. I'd like your viewers and listeners to go to sanctuaryofmoses.org. That's one word, sanctuaryofmoses.org. There they can see what we're doing in more details. We need funds to continue to build these schools, to build homes for children that have nowhere to go, and to build clinics for children who don't have access to medical support. And to dig wells, to provide microloans to mothers so they can build their small businesses, whether they're farmers, seamstresses, hairdressers, so they can feed their children and not be tempted to sell them for as little as $5 to traffickers. So we can even provide your listeners an opportunity to send children to school, because for as little as $25 you can send a child to school for 1 year. It doesn't take a lot to do a lot. And so if all they can do is pray, prayer is very important. But if they can send some donation, that would be helpful to get a child out of the throes of and the risk of being enslaved.
You know, it's been a big misnomer that one person can't do a lot, and you're proving how much one person can do. You know, and for everyone that's watching, if you ever question yourself, you wanted to know what you can do to help. Maybe you're not able to go to Africa yourself, but you can participate in the change just by your contribution. And we're talking about something that's minimal $25, and for absolutely worthy cause to make not just a difference in one child's life, but in a difference in the whole community.
Absolutely.
And thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. I do want to add, we have so many wonderful role models in our history, like Mary McLeod Bethune, who with $1.50 on a dump site was able to build through prayer and faith. Bethune-Cookman College has touched so many lives. So each person has the ability. God gives us an innate ability to be able to do something to help lift our humanity. And so if you're touched right now, we would encourage you to help us at Sanctuary of Moses, or even if it's through your church or something in your community, but to do something. All of us have purpose.
The year of accountability.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you for hanging and talking to us.
Thank you for inviting me.
We'll be back here on This Community on BlackMediaStream.com at the 7th Annual Onyx Awards.
Thanks and honor to God for the privilege to serve. I realized a long time ago that He really doesn't need us to do anything for Him. And that is why this is such a precious opportunity for me, the Sanctuary of Moses. I want to thank my mother, who's a miracle in and of herself, who's celebrating her 70th birthday this month, despite a massive stroke back in 1996. And I want to thank my son, who's 16 years old, thanks to both of them, for allowing me to drag them across the globe to do what I do for the Sanctuary of Moses and the children of Benin. 8.4 million children, 8.4 million children around the world are in some form of slavery, yes, I said slavery, bondage, debt bondage. 8.4 million too many of our precious children. I don't believe that God intends for our children to be used as commodities, to be engaged in slavery, to work in the granite mines of Nigeria, to work as domestics in Benin, to work as prostitutes as far away as Italy, to sell water in the streets of Niger. I don't believe that that's the intention that God has for our children. Indeed, education is the gateway to liberation. And that is why Sanctuary of Moses is making education accessible to children in Benin, West Africa. I thank Lillian and Lester Saints for what they do, and that they've allowed me to speak for children who have no voice, and to let you know tonight that too many children suffer the scourges that our ancestors suffered back in the 14 to 1800s during the transatlantic slave trade. It should not happen today. Not today. Not March 14, 2009. Come on, let's do something to make a difference in the lives of these children. Thank you so much. God bless.
That I have been asked to present the 2009 Lifetime Achievement Award, I feel privileged to do so, for education, the gateway to independence. What an appropriate award scheme for this year. The Lifetime Achievement is awarded to an outstanding individual for exceptional leadership, teaching, and service. The recipient of this award is an individual who has made a significant difference in the lives of people.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand to receive Major General Titus C. Hall, the 2009 Onyx Lifetime Achievement Award recipient.
Members Sandy, Onyx, Val, Jerry. There's so many great people in this room tonight. But one of the greatest of them all was my co-pilot of 57 years. Please, my wife of 57 years, Mrs. Clarissa Hall. Please stand here. That's quite a lady. That's quite a lady. Head Majorette of Tuskegee. There are a group of people that mean so much to us. We graduated in 1952. We married that night at the home of Major Punch, a Tuskegee Airman. Some 3 or 4 respectable years later, our third daughter, Dr. Pamela Ann Green, back there. Where's Pam? My daughter Pam. Please stand back there in the corner. And her husband, Dr. Green. She was born in Houston. And that's where, again, a Tuskegee Airman comes into play in my mind. This Tuskegee Airman was Major McCrary. And he took me up in a C-47, and he said, son, you've got it, but you need some wings on your chest. And with the papers up there at altitude, we signed to be a navigator or pilot. And a result of that Tuskegee Airman, I was able to take command some years later of the 32,000 people base of Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. My wife, Clarissa, was the first lady of those bases. And then we went to Lowry, where we had 28,000 people. But as these things, you'll notice I keep saying Tuskegee Airmen, because I'm going to have a favor to ask of you. One of the greatest of those men was a man from Pensacola. He was the commander of the North American Air Defense Command, and he managed our nuclear weapons. He took me up one day and straight up almost and rolled over, and you kind of do what somebody says when they got you upside at about the speed of sound. And this great man from Pensacola told me something. He said, son, every time you get a chance, tell the young people, and that's what's happening right now with President Obama. He said, tell the young people to unball their fists and reach out for the hand that's trying to help you. And don't you cop out, don't you sit out, and don't you dare walk out of the American system. My children, I have something to ask of you. Oh, I could talk about General Larry Scamps, a 4-star who was a great man. I could talk about General Lowe, another 3-star who helped me to make general. But there's something that I would ask of each of you. Today, please, write to Governor Chris
and tell him to have a General James, Chaplain James Day in Florida. Write to Governor Chris and tell him to have a Tuskegee Airman, Leroy. Tell him to have a Tuskegee Airman Day in Tuskegee. Right here in Florida, a Tuskegee Airman. And then when you do that, realize what you've done, and you've shown the world, you've shown the other states what they should do. And that write a letter to our new president and tell him to have a General James Day.
Hello, and we are back at the post-ceremony party, having a good time back here. And we're one of the corporate sponsors. This is Reuben Grant of Grant Transportation. And how you feeling this evening?
Oh, I'm having a good time, real good time tonight. Appreciate it. It's a good cause, having a good fun, great nominees, great awardees, and at this point we were out to get our party on.
Indeed. So this is the 7th annual event. How long have you been a part of this Onyx Awards, or working with Onyx Awards?
This is going on my 3rd year. We started off as I was a presenter. Now I'm into the sponsorship level, and every year it gets a little bit bigger, a little bit better.
And you seem to be growing with it. That's wonderful.
That's the whole idea. We grow our businesses, greater exposure, and just enjoying ourselves.
So that's cool. So there's more to come. Thanks for hanging out with us. You can be sure to stick around. And we're here at the 7th annual Onyx Awards. Omni Rosen hanging out. Welcome to this community. We're at the post-event party for the Onyx Awards, the 7th annual Onyx Awards, and we're here with one of the guests from tonight, and we're trying to find out how she felt about tonight's event. What do you think about it?
Actually, it was probably one of the best that they've ever had. I've been at the last 4 shows, and it really was a very good presentation tonight.
Awesome. So you had a good time?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and the saxophonist was awesome. Actually, all the entertainment was really very good. It was stellar tonight.
That is great. And the party continues, and so does the fun.